Can I please have a show of hands for who's used an online AI tool before? Could be ChatGPT, Midjourney, okay, basically everyone. So ChatGPT, the AI which motivated me to write this talk, is one of the fastest, if not the fastest growing online platforms to date. And every year, there's a lot of online platforms which are introduced, and none of them do as well as ChatGPT unless they bring something truly new to the table. When we talk about AIs like ChatGPT, we have a way of classifying them, and we classify them based on their inputs and their outputs. So something like ChatGPT takes a text input, your prompt, and gives you a text output, the answer to your prompt. Things like DALL-E or Midjourney take a text input and give you an image output. That means those are text-to-image AIs. There's a lot of AIs floating around out there on the internet, and they work with other file formats as well, like videos, GIFs, or even some other mixed formats. And the important thing to know about these AI tools is that the underlying machinery is still the same. It's all statistics. For us, that means that basically they're all just guessing machines. When AI is mentioned in media, on your Instagram, or in the news, there's a lot of buzzwords that come with it. Things like adaptation, learning, growth. And these are all terms which are well defined in academic and research circles, but they can be pretty misleading to the common person. And I'll get to this later, but the basic idea is that the AI isn't really growing or learning like a child would. It's only getting better at making guesses. Regardless, AIs have proven to be extremely useful. For example, I've seen AI being used to prototype code. People are using it to come up with entire pieces of code which are then directly integrated into software. I've seen students use it to write their essays faster, or some use it to not even write it at all. I guess some of you can relate. And understandably, this has led a lot of employers and teachers to enter panic online, because it means that their employees and their students aren't really doing the work that they're meant to be doing, but they're still able to produce work which is indistinguishable from the work of normal people. Like all of you that raised your hands earlier, I've also used ChatGPT. I used it when I was studying for my differential equations class. You see, my professor has modified the course, so it strays a bit from the standard bachelor course. So that means when it came time for the test and I was trying to make sense of things, I was on Google, Math Overflow, things like that, and it really wasn't making sense. So defeated, I went to ChatGPT, and I asked it to explain some concepts, and it did. And with a little bit of prompt engineering, asking it a few different ways, it even delivered an explanation which made the most sense to me and the way that I learn math. And I found that pretty surprising, but honestly, a little scary. You see, this is extremely new technology. And what does that mean for us? It means we don't know what it's capable of. We don't know what AI can do. We don't know the directions it will take or the other forms that it may take. And don't get me wrong, I'm no expert on that stuff either. I can't really tell you much about it, but I'm here to get you thinking about the possibilities. But then the question arises, how do you even start thinking about something like this? It's so abstract, it's so far-fetched, it's so in the future. Before we start talking about that, let me summarize about some of the things I've said already. So AI is extremely useful. People use it to write code, people use it to write their essays or not even write them at all. But the idea so far has been to use AI to get away with doing work, use it as a shortcut. But we need to keep in mind that AI is just a guessing machine. But what does that really mean? Before an AI is trained or before it learns, it's basically useless. Before the researchers trained ChatGPT, it likely produced garbage. If you asked it, who's the Prime Minister of the Netherlands, it would give you garbage. It would just give you random letters and numbers. But then they fed it data, they fed it facts, they fed it websites and video transcripts and books, and then it started to make sense of it, kind of make sense of it, and now it can deliver answers. It just makes better guesses. What that means for us is that it still has all the bias in it. And what I mean by that is the work we produce contains a level of bias because we're people. We have bias in our works. And the AI has it as well. Because when you have really big data sets, imagine a data set the size of the internet, it gets really difficult to remove these biases. Let me illustrate that with a little bit of an example. Who here knows what Twitch is? All right, that's a bit more than expected. So for those of you that don't know, Twitch is a social media platform where creators can communicate with their viewers. Creators can choose to show themselves via video, or they can show themselves with the game they're playing, a video, or something else that they're watching, and viewers can interact through a live chat on the side. For those of you that know what Twitch is, you might have heard of a show called Nothing Forever. It went a bit viral recently. Basically, the show is a program written by the producers of the show, and it constantly queries ChatGPT to make parodies of a show called Seinfeld. Seinfeld is a very old TV show. And then they use those they use a text from ChatGPT and they put it into a text-to-video AI to generate video. They also put it through an audio transcriber to produce audio. The audio and video are stitched together and they're live streamed. Recently, the producers had to downgrade from ChatGPT to a cheaper version of the same AI, really. But the only difference is that it's a little bit dumber, it's a bit cheaper. And in that time, the AI made a transphobic joke live. Twitch was able to almost instantly stop the show, but the creators are trying to get it back, saying that it's not their fault, it's the AI's fault. They weren't really watching. But I don't think it's a coincidence that it was a cheaper AI which made this kind of mistake. You see, Nothing Forever is a show, it's just a program, as I said. That means that the producers are never really watching the show. It's automatic. And the AIs, none of the AIs at any point realized that they're making a mistake, that transphobic jokes are not okay in any situation. And I would even go as far as to say that they don't even know that they're making anything. They're just guessing machines. They just have an input and they give you an output. They're just doing their function. The point is that AI is capable of making the same mistakes that we do, but without the consciousness of knowing that it's made a mistake. You can't really tell it that, oh, that's wrong. But when we're watching it, when we're using it as a tool, as a live stream on Twitch, it all seems like magic to us. And it really is magic, but it seems that if it's good magic or bad magic, it's money that's really the deciding factor. That took a bit of a gloomy turn. I'd like to leave you with a little bit of optimism. AI is incredibly powerful, and it has the capability of becoming an extension of our thoughts. It can let us do better work faster. But we need to realize when we're using it for ourselves and when we're teaching others how to use it, that it is just a tool. It can't really replace the way we think. We can use it to do better work, but we still need to do the work. When you open Google Scholar, which is a version of Google used for academic research, right below the search bar, you're greeted with a quote. And it says, "Standing on the shoulders of giants." And I think that's exactly what AI will allow us to do. Because an AI is to the internet what the internet was to a library. The internet allowed anyone, anywhere, full access to any information they wanted, and an AI will allow anyone, anywhere, the ability to manipulate and harness this same information. So the next time you use an AI, be careful. It might not be as smart as you think. Thank you.